Okay, here's another prophecy, another prediction that I made that has come 100% true. I was the first person to start doing a bunch of reviews on the Nikon D500, obviously. Big deal, right? I said that it's going to come true after examining the Nikon D500. I said that the Nirvana, I don't know if I used the word Nirvana or not, but I said to the effect that the dream dual camera setup, which you'd be using a dual camera setup anyway, as a professional wedding photographer, would be the Nikon D810 or the D500. And it has since come true. I've read a bunch of comments, not people that have even seen my video, like, hey, I'm a professional wedding photographer, I got a Nikon D500, I am just in bliss, I found the perfect, absolute, incredible setup. I've got a Nikon D810, and on my other hip, I have a Nikon D500. What the Nikon D500 can do, the D810 cannot, and vice versa. Divine perfect portraiture, full frame lenses with proper lens compression. 85 millimeters and 85. Just because a 56, for example, is roughly an 85 millimeter on a DX crop doesn't mean it has the same compression. Because it is the case that a 56 is a 56 is a 56. Just because equivalently it's cropped out to be roughly an 85 doesn't mean it's an 85. It's just a crop of the image projection. All lenses toss out the same light. That I've seen at least a dozen comments from true professional wedding photographers, and they've said exactly what I stated early on in first, that the perfect wedding setup would be using a D810 and a D500. Portraiture, reception, but for gathering the action, the low light, as far as the reception afterwards, you need the action and the autofocus acquisition, or some of the altar low light shots, you'd be going back and forth with absolute perfection. So the D810 is still king for portraiture. That's not to say that the D500 is any slouch. When I make that comment, I've made the comment many times, people say, well, does it mean the D500 is not good for portraiture? It's like, no, that's not what I meant. What I meant is that the D810 is still king for portraiture, due to the fact that A, it's a full frame, B, that you're able to use full frame lenses with the proper compression on them of 85 is an 85, and I'm using it on a full frame lens and a full frame camera, and the 36 megapixels. So if you have to crop the hell out of something, you've got a lot there to work with. Also, still perfect for landscape. This is the king of landscape and the king of portraiture. Not that the D500 is a slouch on portraiture. The D500 would not be a recommendation for landscape. That's not to say it can't do decent landscape. But between these two, you have 100% perfection across the board. When you're grabbing for one, you're grabbing for the other, and vice versa. Depending on what it is, if you need perfect portraiture, you need to crop in, D810. Perfect low light or action for reception, you're going to be grabbing for the D500. You'll be going back and forth. And so the prediction I made has been exactly what I said it would be, because as soon as I figured out all the attributes, the nature and the characteristic of the Nikon D500, I said, look, at the perfect wedding setup now, where someone, if they've got decent lenses and they've got the skills, obviously, and they've got some decent lighting, that's assuming you've got lighting, decent speed lights and some power packs, and, a few good lenses. You got a D500 on one hip and a D800 on the other hip, and always, of course, one of the two in your hand at all times, going back and forth. And that is the case. And these aren't people that will watch my video. These are people that have discovered on their own after buying the Nikon D500 that, hey, I'm a wedding photographer. I'm in just pure bliss because I can get everything now. Before, the Nikon D810 was suffering at the low light where I couldn't use a speed light inside the wedding chapel. I got the D500 that can rock that out and then some. Need perfect portraiture, I need to crop. I'm going to grab for my Nikon D810 as I always did. During reception, where people are dancing around, I need to have the awesome autofocus tracking and the burst rate. Grabbing for the D500. So this is a match made in heaven. This is a wedding nirvana, the both of these together. Flat out, balls out, no argument. There's nobody going to say what I just said the past 5 minutes was incorrect in any way, shape, or form, because that's exactly what this is. You should always have a dual camera setup for wedding. Most people shoot weddings with only one camera. They shouldn't be, however. You should at least also have a camera that has a dual card slot for backup. You can imagine shooting a wedding or a corporate shot using a camera that only had one SD card slot or one compact flash card slot, although plenty of people do it. Some people have budgetary constraints, obviously, logically so, but You know, money being irrelevant, which it never is, this is nirvana for taking, being a wedding photographer, the two of these combined. So, thanks for watching. I'm still recovering from my vacation. I'm still exhausted. I'm still in pain also from getting hurt on the vacation. Not too badly hurt, but hurt nonetheless. So, catch you later. Bye.